Hello, everyone, and welcome to Unapologetics. I am Brent Lee, and here with me, interestingly, I also have Brent Lee here with me. Brent
Hi,
Lee.
I'm Brent Lee.
so, so nice to meet you. How's it going, man?
Yeah, I'm good, dude. I am very good.
Yeah, that freaked me out. When because you had contacted me on Twitter, I think it was, and I'm looking on it. I'm like, wait a second. How did I mess up and message myself? Like how did this? What happened here?
Yeah, I think I messaged. Hi, Brent Lee. I'm Brent Lee.
Yeah, I'm like, was I just fucking with myself? Like really drunk? No, I don't drink anymore. I was like, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, and then you were like an ex conspiracy theorist that that breaks down conspiracy theories and everything. And it's like, wow, we're so similar. It's unbelievable. That like I used to be like that as well. So tell me a little bit about your show. You say let's Brent Lee TV, and you look at conspiracy theories, right?
Yeah, so I'm a former conspiracist of like 15 years, from 2003 to 2018. I was just consumed by conspiracist thinking. So it wasn't just like I'd, you know, believed in one or two conspiracy theories and moved on with my life or something like that. It was more like an all-encompassing ideology, just like a religion is.
Right.
So I would identify as a truther. Um,
Oh
Long
wow.
story short, after like 15 years, I just started kind of coming away from it all because I just had a lot of things didn't fit. So basically, I left all of it in 2018, walked away, and tried to start to figure my life out, try and figure out where I've been going wrong, how I've been seeing things. Is there any new answers to the questions that I had in life? And basically, I've been trying to build that up for the past 3 or so years now. And, with this whole pandemic and January 6th and the rise of QAnon and all that type of stuff, I started seeing a lot of people, well, essentially, we're dying because of the spread of conspiracy theories. And I thought I was in a position to maybe talk about these conspiracy theories because I had deconstructed that worldview to myself.
Right.
So I thought, you know what? Maybe I should try and talk about it to people. Maybe I should try and help bring my old
So
friends out of the rabbit hole and explain to like other people what it means to be a conspiracist, really.
right. So okay. So it was a sort of like things starting to not add up, kind of. And
It
did you
was,
feel yourself like not being honest with yourself about things? Like that was like a big part of it for me. I don't know if it
yeah,
was for you.
it I didn't notice that until I came away from it and started trying to work things out. Now I've gone back and looked at different things. I've realized where I was lying to myself, where I was, moving some of these goalposts. Really,
Mm.
yeah. So I did start off. The reason why I really started to break away from it though wasn't necessarily like I felt my beliefs were wrong. It's actually because I felt the truth movement was going in a wrong direction.
Mm.
And so long story short, it was things like Sandy Hook and stuff like that, and this
Uh,
whole crisis actor narrative that started getting spun. There wasn't really such thing as a crisis actor before this time, like around 2012.
right.
And yeah, it was like basically all the little pockets of movements were like eating up all these different weird conspiracy theories, like
Yeah.
flat Earth, Mandela effect, this crisis actor type of thing, and it didn't gel with what the ideology like me and the rest of the community had built up for 10 years.
Right. Right.
So that's
Uh,
where I started like
So it
having
started
problems.
the cracks in the foundation started
Yeah, but
to
that
go.
still took another 6 years to finally like just drop everything and walk away.
Wow, yeah. It's hard. It's hard to
Mm,
walk away when it's your personality. It's like you identify it with it in your head
yeah,
as you. This is you. This is who you are, right?
yeah.
And it's hard to just be like, okay, that's not me anymore.
It
And so
really,
then,
really, really was hard.
yeah, wow. Yeah, that's a tough one. So for anybody that doesn't know, I'm sure a lot of we do know is that truther is 9/11 truther. People that think that 9/11 was an inside job done by our own government. That's what very because there was a conspiracy, that actually did happen, but it was a conspiracy of the folks from across the from the Taliban, conspiring together to blow up buildings.
Yeah.
Right. But 'cause there was a really good book I just read, and of course now I can't think of the name of but it was called Conspiracies and Conspiracy Theories, and it kind of showed you the difference between the two, like, and that
Hmm.
some of are conspiracies just where people conspire together to do something nefarious, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
conspiracy theories are like, well, different. It's like, well, like
Way
people
different.
just making stuff up a lot of times.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, conspiracy is an actual crime. If you commit a conspiracy, you're committing a crime.
Oh, that's a good
You
point. Yeah,
know.
you're right. Yeah, conspiracy
Um,
to yeah, you're right.
yeah, that's what the actual thing is. But conspiracy theories like aren't about breaking a law, or committing a crime. Like the moon landing is a hoax or something like that. That's not,
That one seems so
you
what a
know.
weird one to like, it's the same seems like such a weird hill to die on for a lot of these people. Like, no, they wanted to win the race to the moon so bad
Yeah,
that they would make up this video. It's just like, what, like, who cares? Like, I don't even, how do you care about this and this much?
yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I settled on when I was into this stuff. I settled on to the idea of they hoaxed it, so they could win the space race, which does make a little bit of sense, like propaganda wars.
Right. Yeah.
But when you're like saying, "Oh no, they faked it because they didn't want to expose the secret moon bases,"
Right.
that's when that's when it goes a bit mad,
Yeah, now we've
you
hit
know?
Men in Black Part 3.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. It's like
that's where I think the theories sort of fall short. Is when you start adding fantasy to something that's happened.
right. Yeah,
You know?
because I mean, and that's true. Because like, what was the other one? Oh, Roswell. Like that
Mm.
was a real thing. Like, what was it? What we everybody believed it was aliens and all this? No, of course not.
Yeah,
But there was a thing they were trying to hide, and the weather balloon blimp was a lie. That was not true.
yeah,
you know, but it was just them trying to spy on Soviet. I believe at the time it was Soviet.
yeah,
They like radio waves, and they were using these big kind of things to be able to like listen in on stuff, and they didn't want the public to know that they could listen into like
yeah.
different things. And
I think like
um,
also where they, with Roswell, where the military or the newspapers did say that a flying saucer was recovered. I think that was more of like a psyop against Russia, and the
oh,
enemies of America, to let them think just for a minute. Oh my God, have they actually recovered something? Have they got technology that we can't fight? I
oh
think that there
yeah,
was a political strategic move in that kind of thing, but then that birthed this whole conspiracy theory. You
yeah.
know,
They
I think
just
there's nuggets of truth in everything. It's just trying to find, like, nail down what it actually is about.
Yeah, it's tough to, that's why for me a lot of times I'm just always like, I gotta wait. As an ultra skeptic, like I just gotta like there's just not enough information yet. I just gotta wait, which sucks. Nobody
Yeah,
wants to wait. Nobody wants to say I don't know until the evidence shows up. We want to be able to go, no, I'm gonna land on my conclusion right now and then hope that I'm right.
yeah.
It's like, no, just say you don't know stuff. That's fine.
I'm happy to say that nowadays. I
you
don't
know,
know if it comes with maturity or something, like where you don't have to know the answer anymore. It's like I'm fine
right?
with not knowing the answer. It's fine.
Well, isn't it weird, like, when it comes to, it seems like with politics and, religion a lot of times, but definitely politics, it's like you have to pretend that you know like, you can't just say, "I
Mm,
don't know." Like, you're obligated to have an opinion on every single thing, and you need to and you have to pretend that you know all this. I don't know if this is a purely American thing, but, it is really weird, and I remember having to be like that and not knowing anything about politics, but I had all my talking points. If anybody ever came up with, political conversation came up, I knew what I could, these are my talking points that I got from my side, to talk.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like, you have to, it's just, you're expected to know things, or, it's that you just don't know, it's
Yeah.
complicated. Politics is complicated.
It really is. Politics, society, everything is very, very complicated. And we
So now,
come to answers together.
yeah, exactly. So now when it comes to, so do you like break down the, like you'll take a conspiracy theory and look at it and say like, we can't jump to these conclusions, or go, like, how about do you do that? How do you
Okay,
do
so
that?
I am trying to work on doing some more videos where I break down specific conspiracy theories, like like the conspiracy pyramid chart that's upside down. It's got all the different conspiracies in it. It's quite a popular chart
Oh
that
no.
shows like what's good or what's bad.
Oh no, I haven't seen that.
I'll share it with you.
Yeah.
And I want to try and go through like as many of them as I can to kind of explain the right and the wrong of
Oh,
those.
okay.
Um,
Excellent.
I tend to generally stick with at the minute breaking down what I call the grand conspiracy. And the grand conspiracy is this thing that I've called like conspiracism. Having this idea of like an Illuminati, New World Order, deep state sort of thing. And I
Right.
try to break that down first because that's something I believed in like massively. And the thing that I
Okay.
was able to break down for myself. So I've got a little series on YouTube now called The Meta Conspiracy, which
Oh,
explains where this Illuminati myth comes from.
yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so
I
and
was big
how
into
it's
that one.
come
Yeah.
and how it comes down through the ages, and that's kind of what I've been talking about recently. But there is something on the horizon, which I'm happy to announce here at any time. Is just that me and a friend are doing a podcast where we're going to break down every conspiracy theory going. Basically, we're going to give it a proper in-depth look with a guest. He's also been in the rabbit hole as long as I have, like my co-host, and also like 20 years.
Wow. Yeah.
He's written books from the conspiracy side.
Oh wow.
Like
Oh,
he's
that's
written
gotta be
books
tough.
on MK Ultra and mind control and stuff like that. So he
Oh
was
wow.
on all of the old conspiracy shows, but some of
Damn.
the stuff he's starting
The
to break
Art
down
Bell.
himself. Yeah,
That's like the Art Bell kind of the
yeah.
crew.
He's actually he was on Art Bell once.
He was on Coast to Coast.
Yeah,
Oh, that's fucking crazy. Holy shit. That's
yeah.
awesome.
So me and him are going to start doing this show together because
That's
I'm
great.
quite a non-believer nowadays, and he tries to find some of the truth within it. So we're going to break it down with the guest, and we're just going to go every month. Let's like break down these conspiracies, and hopefully after some time we'll have a nice little catalog up there of what's true and what isn't
Right.
about these conspiracy theories.
And that's the tough part. So like if there's, because I mean I think you're probably right that that a lot of it there is like a bit of truth in each thing, and they because it seems to me a lot of it, I always use this example of spark plug deniers, and I say like, well, a lot of a lot of conspiracies to me, they sound just like people saying that spark plugs don't exist because cars run on gasoline, and sparks plus gasoline make exploding cars, and so cars would just be exploding everywhere, and so
Yeah, see, it makes sense.
yeah, it makes it, it's like, but they all work together. All the mechanics all like agreed that they're gonna lie together to get you to pay for have something fixed that doesn't exist, for
Damn that
money.
big spark plug, big
Yeah,
spark plug.
big spark plug. Yeah, exactly. But so, and that's so interesting, and it's like, and that with I've noted, it's I can't remember who said the quote, but it was like the amount of energy it takes to refute bullshit is an order of magnitude higher than it takes to produce it.
Mm.
you know, and that's like the most true when it comes to conspiracy theories. Like, I can talk about Christianity or like any religion and talk about like why logically I don't believe or whatever. I can do that all day long. But with conspiracy theorists, it's so difficult because they're throwing out all these facts, these little things. I can't tell which one of them, which I don't know the answer to all of them. It's like
Yeah,
with flat earthers. They're asking me about stuff that I don't know, man. I don't know the exact rotation of the fucking Earth, man. Like I don't, like, so it makes it so difficult. It's like real easy just to make bullshit up and just say it,
yeah,
but it's a lot of work to sit there and then have to go, okay, here's exactly why you're wrong on this point. Here's why you're wrong on that point. Do you and like run into that a lot, having to have that kind of part of the conversation?
yeah. But that's why I do it. See, like I watch a lot of like politically left streamers and stuff like Vosh and Destiny and people like that. And within 1 week, I heard both of them say something that like really, really hit me. And that was they both had said the one person I will never debate is a conspiracy theorist because
Oh
I
wow.
can't keep up with their gish gallop. I don't know the ins and outs of everything, so I won't do it. And at
Yeah.
that time, I was like, I could do that. I was
Oh
because
yeah.
I was a conspiracy theorist. I
Oh,
know where you're going to go.
you could keep up with the Gish
Yeah,
Gallop.
I
Holy shit. Yeah.
understand the gish gallop because I did the gish gallop.
Yeah,
You
because a
know?
lot, yeah, because like sometimes they're referring to stuff, and I'm like, I don't even know like what which is that, the reptilian, humanoid, like where are we at here? I don't even know which one we're on. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I moved in and out of so many of the communities because the truth movement, like the whole movement of people that are into these conspiracy theories, is built up with a whole bunch of different little communities. Some of them are flat earthers, some of them, a massive portion of them now are QAnoners. Others are
oh
just
yeah,
straight up 9/11 truthers. Um, just all these different groups. And like, I used to run a website when I was this truther, and it was called Truth Music Directory. And basically, I'd go around and look for any musician or artist that spoke about any of this type of stuff. Right?
and
I'd find
okay,
them, and then I'd promote them on the website. And it was for the movement, not for the little communities. It was for the movement as a whole. So
right,
I moved in all these little circles and was accepted by all these people. Like, if it was the flat earth community, even if I wasn't a flat earther, they'd accept me in because I was one of the guys that would push their heroes, say,
yeah, you were like
you
their
know.
version of woke. They were
Yeah.
like, yeah,
I was
these are
just
these
and I
woke
was
people.
into so many rabbit holes, mate. I've been in and out of so many different things. I've, believed in Hollow Earth at one point, but
Wow,
then
wow,
didn't. It's just,
it's
like
like
I said, for
that.
so, so long I was in this. That's why I can kind of keep
Wow.
up with a lot of what's being said.
Because it seems like a lot of these would be mutual, like what you just mentioned, like the Hollow Earth. It seems like that would be mutually exclusive from, like, say, flat Earth, right? We
Mm.
have like multiple theories, and I've heard people say, I used to debate this one guy named Sean Yankee, who does conspiracy shows and stuff, and I remember saying he was a flat earther and a hollow earther, and I was like, how do you do both? You know? It's like I don't get it, but they're like, well, no, the point is that the official story is wrong. Okay. This is just could be this or just could be that, and it's like, okay, man, I guess we could go that way.
Yeah, some of it just that's the thing though. So with truthers, they always claim that normal people exhibit this, but I think truthers exhibit it most, and that's cognitive dissonance, holding two beliefs that don't make sense. Shout out Skeptic of the North. Thanks for watching, buddy. This is
Yeah.
our my friend Phil,
Oh, really? Nice. That's awesome.
also an ex conspiracy theorist.
No shit. Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
he does
Hell yeah.
amazing videos on YouTube. Everyone should definitely go check him out. He's a yeah, brilliant guy.
Excellent. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check them out after here. Yeah, let's actually address this one too. Are the 3,000 architects and engineers for the 9/11 truth that disagree with the official narrative wrong? How
Yes.
about Building 7? Okay. Oh god. See, I just went over this in this book called The Believing Brain. Um, yeah, and no, yeah, the architects don't like. Here's the thing: the architects don't understand. They're not physicists, right? They're architects. You know, they know how to build
Mhm.
things up. If they knew how to build things, you know, to break them, they're probably not going to be that great at their job. You know what I mean? But like, they're not physicists, you know. And the way the buildings fell was, you know, it was actually not like a demolition. You know,
Yeah.
if you if you juxtapose it with the demolition, you can see the way that it falls from that spot and like destabilizes, and then the others come from the fall from the bottom up. But here you go ahead with your breakdown.
Yeah, well, what I would say, okay, first question, are the 3,000 architects and engineers for 9/11 truth that disagree with the official narrative wrong? Yes, they are wrong, and they are pushing the wrong message. I think people like Richard Gage, who is the head of our AE for 9/11 truth, is a liar, and he is trying to string you all along because he doesn't give you the actual evidence. So with the question being here about building 7 that fell without being hit, they always show a certain clip of the video, and they
Yeah.
always show that it comes down, it's supposed at free fall. What they don't show is like a 13 seconds worth of video before the clip begins, and that's where parts of the building are actually starting to fall in.
Right.
So it starts to actually fall before this video clip begins,
And yeah, and they
right?
also only show the one side where it's like barely any fires,
Yeah,
and
but
there's like a
then you
whole
go
no
and look at you look at the rest of it, and like a third of the building is like it's just gouged out, and the fires are raging.
yeah, like, it's almost you'd think you'd have to when you see those pictures with that other picture, you'd have to think it's crazy that it didn't fall down,
Yeah,
you know, like, how engulfed in flames it was, you
yeah.
know?
And like people asked me before, like, but nothing hit it, and I just always say 2 buildings hit it.
Yeah, exactly.
Two buildings fell on top of it, pretty much. You know?
That were on fire. Yeah, you
Yeah,
know, it's like all the because people gotta remember too, like, back in the day, paper was, like, something we used, you know? We don't we don't really use it, too much anymore, you know what I mean?
no,
But, so on all that shit lighting on fire, you know, like, we just had you know, because 'cause they're what's their favorite thing, you know, is jet fuel does not burn that hot, you know what I mean? Right?
yeah, doesn't melt steel beams.
Yeah, it won't melt steel beams, you know? But it's like, yeah, but it can get it hot enough to, like, warp it, and then
Yeah.
once it's, like, a little bit warped, that's all it takes, man, and then the rest of it just goes down, you know?
That's it, and you can see this when you watch the actual videos. If you take okay, the 9/11 truth videos, they always frame it to you first. So when you have that idea in your head that this is what's going to happen, and you see it,
Then
your brain forms that connection.
it's
But
poisoning the well,
yeah,
kind of,
I watch these videos now, and I can see that isn't coming down at free fall. There's massive chunks of it still around, and the bit of collapse, you can actually see that like the building is straight, say the top half of it, say the plane hit here, and
yeah,
then the top half of this building is the bit that's like it's the weight on top of this bit that's burning, and you can actually see the building kind of go like that right before it
oh,
falls. So like all the steel is actually
it
just
collapsed in.
malleable, to make it go clunk, and then all that weight comes falling down.
Yeah, because
You
a
can
lot of
see it.
times, yeah, because they're acting like it's a fucking tree or something. Like it's not, you know what I mean? Like it's just
Yeah,
it's all so sturdy, it's just gonna fall straight to the side and shit. And it's like,
yeah,
no, man, it's like built of all these tiny things that are holding it up. You know?
and these buildings are built to fall on into their own footprint.
Right.
That is the point. Like you just said, like if the World Trade Center came down any other way, it's not going to come over like a tree. It was never built to fall over like a tree.
Yeah. It's
you
just
know?
like that's too big for gravity to work that way.
Yeah. And the
Like,
death and destruction that would happen if that happened, it's
oh
like
God, yeah.
this is why they build these things in this manner in the first place.
Wow, that's so fascinating. And it's and that is I think that is probably I mean for me in my generation anyway was the first that um really kind of got the ball rolling for me.
It really
Um
was.
was that was for you too? That was like the first
Yeah,
big one?
it was one of those videos that really made me go, okay, yeah, this stuff is real. Because I saw a few different videos first about like Freemasons and New World Order, secret
Oh yeah.
government type of
Bo-
stuff, and I was like, oh,
Bohemian
I'm
Grove.
quite intrigued. Yeah, and I was quite intrigued by that because I see the world as corrupt. I see politicians and corporate businesses and all that as being very corrupt people, and
Yeah,
this Mason kind of stuff made sense to me at that time, but I didn't really quite buy it completely
right.
until I saw like 9/11 stuff, and then that was it. I was like, yeah, these people are working behind the scenes to rule the
Control
world.
every
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and it's just, that one's funny to me too because like, that is sort of the big like, you could call it the grand conspiracy, right? The meta conspiracy that's just sort of all of them end up requiring that goal movement,
Yeah.
like goalpost movement, at some point because you have to like, it's like, "Well, but what about this?" And they're like, "Oh, well, they're in on it," and there's these people that are controlling and it's just like,
Always.
they always get to that point, where
Yeah.
you're like
They're in
and
on it, or that's a government lie to make us look stupid.
right,
You
right.
know?
And it's like, well, okay, then why leave the clues?
Yeah.
That's that's the other one. Like,
Well,
why would they
obviously the common thing that like truthers would say is because they are arrogant and they don't
yeah.
care if they get caught because none of you will believe them. None of you believe it anyway, so they might as well just be sloppy.
Wow. That is I mean, you're absolutely right. I've heard that exact like, and that's pretty much what I used to say.
Yeah.
Because I was into it about this, I think, about that time, about 9/11. Actually, I specifically remember the Boston bombing being a big uh thing that got me moving in that direction. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, that's kind of part of the time where I started to think all of these truthers are idiots.
Oh, no shit. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I was kinda coming into it right when you were starting to see your way out of it. That's so
Yeah.
fascinating.
It's just because of this crisis actor thing when they're acting like it's a hoax. And I'm like, these people ruling the world don't need to hoax anything. They will kill you. It's fine. It's part of their ritual to me.
Right.
You know, I thought 9/11 was a satanic ritual. I
Damn.
thought that's what
Wow.
they killed that many people to like get the energy to birth their new world order from it. You know,
Wow.
and most of these things that happened after, I thought was the same, a satanic ritual.
Hmm.
So while I'm sat there thinking Boston bombing and Sandy Hook and stuff are satanic rituals, these people are now saying no one died. So how can
Right.
that be a ritual? How does any of that work?
Oh, I
So that's
see.
where it started
Yeah.
breaking down for me a bit.
Because you're saying you've had this whole idea, in your head about why this and it requires the realness of the
Yes.
death and the realness
Yes.
of the blood. And so when like, oh no, not even that's real now. And you're like, oh, what the fuck? What? What do you mean?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. And
that's
that's why I
crazy.
thought, like, at that time, like, I did think these new narratives and new theories were like psyops. It was from the government or the Illuminati or whatever you wanted to call them, to make us look stupid.
Right. Oh, and just keep on throwing out narratives, to
Yeah,
when it's what's interesting is you really don't even need that. Like, we're just gonna do that anyway. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like, we're just
yeah,
gonna, like we just we our brains love to do that naturally. They love to believe things. They love to make connections to things that aren't really connected and find patterns in meaningless noise and things like that. Um, but oh, that's too funny. Yeah, I remember like because I remember hearing the official story of that one, right? And that's what it was, and they were talking about them being chased by police and him throwing bombs or out of the car, right? was like the official story, and I remember laughing, going, "Who's like who wrote this? The guys that wrote Lethal Weapon? Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck's
I
going
was
on?
going to
This is
say,
so
what,
stupid."
Michael Bay? Is Michael Bay
Yeah,
directing this?
yeah, you know, and it's so funny, but it's like that kind of stuff still does happen. It doesn't just because it happens in movies every so often doesn't mean it can't possibly happen. It was just so funny. Now looking back, it's like, wow, I thought some weird shit. you know?
Yeah. Was
But do you
that
have like
sorry,
was
can I ask you a few questions?
yeah, go
Was
for it.
that like tied in with your like background of being like a fundamentalist?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yes.
That was I think it because like I said, like when you have like I call the conspiracy thing. I call that like scaffolding, right? On a
Mhm.
very poor, for me, it was a very poor epistemology, which was fundamentalist Christian, very just I was homeschooled. I wasn't, I didn't talk to anybody that wasn't within my little bubble. Everything was our religion. It was like very obsessive,
Mm.
very zealous,
Yeah.
and yeah, and so conspiracies were real easy just to tack on top of that, especially when I was so into Bible prophecy, and I didn't really see anything happening. Like as far as like these uh, prophecies coming true. So I was like, oh, but if it's all secret, and they're doing it behind this, well, that makes sense. So that was like kind of what reinforced, I think, a lot of those beliefs for me back then.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that helped like tie everything together for me really. Was a lot
Right.
of my like religious beliefs,
Mm.
you know.
Yeah, they have and because that's one of the things with religion that kind of was the one thing that made me like really start questioning things more was just the fact that how divergent they are. That when science looks at things, it gets more exact, it gets more
Mm.
precise. We make mistakes, of course, and figure it out, but it's usually on like somewhat of a micro level. It's like very rare that you learn that an entire theory isn't real or isn't true. you know but yeah, so I was yeah, go yeah, lost my track of what I was saying there. But yeah, damn, I had like a point. It's all right. It'll come back to me. It'll come back to
It'll come
me.
back. If it's a good one, it'll come back.
Right. That's it. but but yeah, religion definitely played a big part in me being a conspiracy theorist and
Mm.
whatnot.
I think it provides a lot of answers if you can make it spiritual, I guess. Because if something doesn't fit in like the material world,
You
well,
could
then
just
obviously the spirits are doing it over that side. So for
right.
me, like here's like some disclosure of the types of ways that I made things fit. So 9/11, I thought, was this inside job? But I didn't ever think, Bin Laden and Bush were hanging out. What I did think was demons were the interlocutors between the two worlds. So if this thing is being planned like by, I don't know, devil worshippers or something,
Yeah, like the Illuminati
they
or
will
the
get
yeah.
the demons to go and influence other people to do these things.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
so the same demon would then whisper into the ear of Bush that would also go and whisper into the ear of Bin Laden. So
Oh, I
that's
see.
how, so I, it didn't work in real life, but I could make it work in the
And
spiritual realm.
right. See, yeah,
It was
it's
like
almost like
his,
a God of the gaps type of situation, where
yeah,
you're like, oh, I can't answer that. So, oh, that's how they did it. Was the demons, of course. Demons
it
are,
was my go-to. It was my go-to all the time.
wow, that's so funny. It reminds me of there's this movie called I think it's called The Revelation with Gary Busey. And they have these guys that are like a secret society, right? And they've got the little like the pyramid and the eye and all that shit on them, and they look like druids, they like wear the clothes, and they're like the people that are controlling all this stuff, and then then the revelation is happening, I remember that movie like really hitting me hard, and that was like a
Yeah.
big part of it was the fact that it was the demons doing a lot of the communicating.
Yeah.
Really funny movie, actually. You should check it out.
Anything with Gary Busey is going to be funny, isn't it? Really?
Right? Yeah. You should see him try to run in it too. It's hilarious too. They're like, run from here to there, and he's like, oh God. I will not be running anymore for the rest of my life. But but do you have like a favorite of the conspiracy theories that you that you get thrown around? I mean, not like a favorite of like that you like to believe, but like the favorite you like to talk
I
about.
like to engage in the grand conspiracy stuff. Yeah, if it's something to do with that, if it's like Illuminati, Bilderberg, World Economic Forum, all these types of people, if it's anything to do with that, I like to engage in that a lot. But I don't tend to I tend to stay away from COVID conspiracies and things, and I can speak about it on a broader level,
Right.
but I let some of the more intelligent people deal with that. Like there's people in my community that they have PhDs and shit. Like it's like we'll let them talk to you. We got a virologist who's like got a PhD in immunology, and we'll go speak to him. All right, this guy, he's the one that you should be speaking to if it's like this information that you don't understand. But for myself, I like to deal with the big grand conspiracy type of thing where they're like, oh, Klaus Schwab is the Antichrist and all that sort of shit. I like dealing with that stuff nowadays.
I see. No, that one's good because that one's like pretty much got, like we said, like it's got its fingers in just about all of them.
Yeah. Because if I can make people understand like the ridiculousness of it, that might help. It might help them start to break it down a little bit. Just to show, look, you'll get things like, oh, the eyes wide shut parties and all this type of stuff. And they're like, yeah, rich people are fucking weird. All right. They like to do weird shit. They're pretty kinky. They just do weird shit. But I guarantee you they're not eating babies. All right. Calm down. Like I like to talk about that type of stuff really a lot, because just trying to make it a little bit more palatable for them to see that it's not this big, massive conspiracy. It's just a bunch of groups of rich people trying to, like, I don't know, claim dominion over the planet in some way.
Yeah.
But they're not all working together. That's for damn sure.
That's the big thing right there. Like rich people do shit. They do exist. They do influence politics. They do all this. Like, I see how they get there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I see how they get there, but they don't work together worth shit. They are fucking each other over at every goddamn turn.
Every moment they can.
Right? It's like a show Succession, except instead of a family, it's just like a bunch of rich people fucking each other over, trying to corner the market or whatever,
Yeah. And they always claim like, this is a Illuminati bloodline family, and all of their children and ancestors will always get the top jobs. And it's like, yeah, we have a different word for that. It's called nepotism.
Yeah. Which is real.
Just normal, and it's normal.
Yeah.
It's normal. Like if I need a job, like I'd go to like my uncle or something like that. Hey, if my uncle had a business, wouldn't I like go to him?
Yeah.
If I lost my job somewhere else. Excuse me. Hey, have you got a job for your nephew? Yeah, man, I got a job for your nephew. We do this all the time. It's not even something nefarious.
No. Yeah, it's perfectly normal. And then but then they have to take it to this level where it's like so far out, But that's a good one to go with. What did you think about all the QAnon stuff when that finally came out?
Well, that was like, okay, I had started to come out by then, come away from it all, and because the last sort of stuff the last things that I looked into as a truther was Pizzagate. Pizzagate, and then I for about 2 weeks I spent time like researching flat Earth stuff. Obviously came away from it going, yeah, bullshit. The first thing, right, just quickly with flat Earth, I heard about the theory first, and I thought, that sounds like ridiculousness, and I'm not going anywhere near it. And
Right.
then my friend was like, no, 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 it's not about that. It's about they're lying to us about it. NASA is
Uh,
lying about this. So you should look into it because they've been withholding this secret from everyone. Then I was like,
uh,
okay, actually, I'll look into it. I will have a look. And I spent 2 weeks actually looking at every angle I could from it and just came away going, nah, sorry. This is just, no.
it's like that one completely the logic in those completely it just eats itself constantly. You
It
know what
does.
I mean? Like, because they're putting out actual fucking dates, man. Like you're breaking the rules of your own shit, man. You're not
Yeah.
supposed to put down actual date. Even the prophets, the prophets of God or whatever, they know not to do that shit
Yeah.
because every time it doesn't fucking work. You know?
Yeah. So I did all that. And then I obviously looked at the Pizzagate, and QAnon evolved from Pizzagate at the end of the day. Like I recognize so much stuff from QAnon, but I'm just glad I was never in it. The thing is with QAnon as well, a lot of like old school truthers like myself, we never believed in a good guy.
Oh,
And
really?
QAnon presented a hero
Um,
within the system. There's a deep state, there's a good deep state and a bad deep state,
right.
and Q himself was a member of this good deep state that's fighting to take over the cabal, and we're going to win. And we had never been presented a hero in the truth movement before because they were all
Right.
bad guys.
That's
So
true.
the
Yeah.
first thing I
Good point.
noticed about that was like, Trump's the good guy. Fuck off. Are you mental? Like,
That one
this,
killed me. Seriously. I was just like,
yeah,
really? You think he's the one that's going in to fight all this shit? You gotta be kidding me.
no chance. So yeah, I've kept my eye on the whole QAnon stuff though, because it is like the truth movement's stepbrother. It has just it is closely related to all the other stuff that I believed in. You could say like, if I was a truther today, people would think I was QAnon,
Right.
even though I wouldn't subscribe to the Q drops and I wouldn't believe that Trump was anything. But all the other stuff that they talk about, I believed.
Hmm.
Very very similar things.
Well, because it kind of like just was an amalgamation of like all the different. I mean, you had people that were QAnon, but also with the reptilian humanoids, David
Yeah,
Icke type shit, right?
yeah.
And but I mean, it was just all over the. We had flat earthers, it just kind of it just got a whole bunch of them, from all over
It's
and
like the
put it all
mixtape.
together.
It's like a
Yeah.
mixtape of
Yeah.
conspiracy hits.
Yes,
It really
exactly.
is.
That's a great way to say it. I love it. Yes. Mixed. Yeah, it's the greatest hits, it takes all the greatest hits.
Yeah.
Wow.
Presented by DJ Hugh.
Oh my god, that's too funny. Yeah, that's just so true.
I am
Um,
really surprised by the whole QAnon movement, though. I just, my God, like 10 years ago, I never would have imagined, like in my wildest dreams, even though it was part of my wildest dreams, to have so many people into this. I just
right.
would have never imagined that so many people would be 100 million Americans believe in at least the elite satanic pedophile element of QAnon beliefs or of conspiracy beliefs.
Right, and that one was
That's
kinda there
insane.
first. Yeah,
Yeah,
because they took that I remember because, yeah, I remember that from, like, the Illuminati, the Bohemian Grove, all
yeah,
that type of shit, right? And they were
yeah,
sacrificing the kids to Moloch, and they had the big statue of
yeah,
Moloch or whatever, you know? But yeah, and then QAnon just took it and they grabbed the ball and just ran it, into the end zone there, and then just kept sort of running, it seems, to another football field somewhere else.
yeah,
And, and
yeah. It has, yeah, it's evolved into something like beyond scope, really.
yeah, it really has. It's and you see that they're kind of setting up a headquarters now. You
No,
heard about this? So in Texas, they're waiting for they were like where JFK was shot.
okay, yeah, this okay. You're talking about the negative 48 cult.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's so they have.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't realize they had like an exact name, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
their leader is called Negative 48.
Oh wow.
Michael Prosman, I think his real name is, and he has kind of created this little cult within QAnon, and that's who those people were at
Oh
the at Dealey Plaza recently. And yeah,
yeah.
they have started their own little cult. Unfortunately, you feel really bad for the friends and family of the adherents, basically, because they're sat there going, I can't believe my brother or my sister's like been sucked into this. It's literally becoming a cult.
Damn. Yeah. There's. I've heard something like husbands and wives are like talking about how their husband just left and they don't know when they're ever coming back,
Yeah,
ever. You know.
yeah.
And
If there's anybody watching this and they want to follow up on what's going on there with the Negative 48 cult in Dallas, I go onto Twitter and look for Karma 2022. She's a researcher and she like keeps the tabs on this stuff all the time. So if anyone wants to keep their eye on what's been going on there, follow at Karma 2022. She's great.
stop real quick. Is it with a K? Like a
Yeah.
K Karma 2022. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
That
lot of
look like
great
that.
there's a lot of great researchers out there on Twitter.
Okay. Yeah. That way we got like a little. Like got something to see. Um. Cool. Yeah. No, that is fascinating. And I hear they're still there. They're still waiting.
Yeah.
You know, for JFK Jr. and all this shit.
And
You know,
Tupac.
when Tupac's in that now too. Yeah.
Tupac's supposed to be coming back. Yeah. They, it's so strange to get like a picture of just like a random black guy at a Trump rally, and they're like, "See, Tupac's there." It's like he
Oh
looks
my
nothing
god.
like him. He looks nothing like Tupac. Stop it, you racist bastards.
Right. That's really what it ends up being. Is they're
But
just
then
like,
again, this other guy that they say is JFK Jr. looks nothing like JFK Jr. either. So
yeah, I
maybe
don't.
they just have got bad facial recognition or something.
But yeah, or they're just, and it's so much apophenia that
Yeah.
it's the apophenia is so strong in these ones that they'll just like they'll just who cares if they don't look, they both got noses and two eyes, so it's got to be them.
That's him.
Jesus, that's crazy.
I think that one's Eddie Murphy.
Right. Jesus. But yeah, so I hear they're really posting up out there, and they're going to be staying, um, for in perpetuity is what it seems. It almost freaks me out. It makes me think that they're going to be like how Clearwater is, because I'm here in Florida, and we have basically a whole portion of our city or of our state taken over by the Scientologists.
Hmm.
And they're just buying up property and all this shit. They're very, very well funded, And from what I understand, I don't think the QAnon people don't seem to be like hurting for money. I mean, there was, so I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna end up doing like how they're doing that here, but that'd be something to look out for.
Yeah. And like I said, we're definitely watching a cult form in front of our eyes in real time
Right.
with these people down there.
Yes. That is so sad.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy. It really is easy to get wrapped up in a cult, we act
That's
like,
what
oh,
I'm
you
trying
gotta
to
be
say
so
with conspiracy
stupid.
theories.
Right.
It's very similar. You can get wrapped up in conspiracy. If you can get wrapped in a cult, you can get wrapped in a conspiracy theory. And the smartest, most intelligent, creative people can get sucked into a cult.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It has nothing to do with intelligence. Everyone wants to make it like, oh, these people are idiots. Of course, colloquially, we're going to call them idiots a lot of times and stuff.
Just having
Um,
fun.
right. Yeah. Well, I mean, just like, oh, that's because that just sounds like a stupid thing to believe. Right. But a lot of times, it's the more intelligent you are, the better you are at finding rationalizations, for things.
Yeah.
And then you have more facts to work with, right? To be able to bend to make, your thing make sense, whatever it may be, right? You got more data to work with than, the people that are less intelligent, can't remember as many things and are a bit more unsure. That's almost good to be unsure yourself, like That's I can't remember who it was, but it was like the problem with the world is that the dumb or the idiots are all cocksure while the intelligent are full of doubt, you know?
Very
And
true.
yeah, and that was like, um,
Is that on a fortune cookie?
right? Yeah, like it does sound like a fortune cookie kind. But yeah, that was I heard that a while ago, and I was just like, man, that is so fucking true. Because that was the main thing I remembered being a conspiracy theorist and a fundamentalist Christian was you had to be sure of it. You had to be sure of yourself. You had to know that that what you believed was true, and it doesn't matter what happens right in front of your face. This is true, you know,
Mm,
even if it goes against what you're saying. Oh, that's contrived somehow. It's very similar thinking, in a lot of ways to conspiracy thought.
absolutely.
Um,
That's why I constantly try and say that it was an ideology.
yeah,
It really, really was. It was my whole worldview.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. And well, thank you so much for coming on. We're still going to do a little bit more for the patrons in just a moment, but thank you so much for coming on. We're definitely going to have you back on and get a little bit more deep into some of this stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
awesome, yeah,
It'll be
and we
fun to jump on the panel sometime. It's just that's like about 3 o'clock in the morning for me, but one day I'll do it.
holy shit, yeah.
I'll take the next day off and do it because like it seems like it'll be a lot of fun. I've watched like a couple of the past streams to check them out, and
Oh.
yeah, you and your friends seem quite funny.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it is a great time. We love just having fun on there. It's like our weekly palate cleanse,
Yeah,
for all the bad, shitty news and everything. Um, but so yeah, what we'll do is like we always do this sign off, right? Where I say like who we're gonna say fuck off to, and then we both we do our best to say fuck off together. If you're not comfortable saying fuck off, you can say screw off or something like that. That's okay.
I swear. I
Oh,
swear
okay.
like a sailor. It's fine.
Okay, just making sure. But,
Like I'm a Christian, right? But
right.
like I tend to follow the red words of Jesus. This is what I always say, right? I follow the red words of Jesus. Everything else is kind of just an allegory or a story or not necessarily something that actually happened or something that we have to believe. And nowhere in those red words did Jesus tell me not to say fuck you.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we'll definitely, touch on that because yeah, we didn't really get a chance to get into that conversation. I wanted to talk more about, like, the, debunking conspiracy because like we were talking before the record, we need good conversations between Christians and, atheists and everybody, to be able to fight the war against extremists, that are,
Yes.
they're the real problem.
Yeah,
You know, like a lot of
absolutely.
this stuff, like that, Christians believe it's insignificant. If you're not harming people, and you're not like voting in ways that are like trying to steal rights from groups of people and things like that, then I don't care if what you believe. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
but
same.
you
Just
know,
don't hurt people.
thank you. Yes, exactly. But so here we'll try the sign off, and then we're gonna take a brief break, and then we're gonna come back and do some Patreon uh type of stuff. If you're watching live, you can watch the Patreon stuff live for free. So, but that's it. Once it's not on there, I'm gonna be pulling it off of the video. So, and it'll just be on the audio podcast, and that's unapologetic spelled with an X, the audio podcast. So we will be right. Oh, we gotta say the sign off.
Who we
So,
telling?
well, here I'll tell you. Look, you ready? What do we say to the haters, discriminators, and masturbator shamers? Fuck
Fuck
off.
off.
Sorry.
Fuck
That was
off.
just right. I never know how fast to do it. You know, sometimes like fuck off. But, all right, cool. We're gonna take a brief break, and then we'll be back in a minute. All right. And we are
Hey,
back.
he's
Hey,
back.
what's up?
Hey, long time no see, man.
I know, it's crazy, right? Yeah, I used to drink quite a bit, so I always have to like it's just part of like when I'm doing a show, it's just like a hand to mouth kind of thing, you know. It's not alcohol anymore, but it's at least but I still, end up having to go to the bathroom the same amount
Yeah.
throughout shows and whatnot. Um but so get this. So here's I like to do this with like you were saying on the panel stream where we'll go through uh right wing watch and sometimes only sky. I'm trying to get better with there's this new site called Only Sky, and it's the new friendly atheist blog. They're it's like their kind of place where they do their thing, and um and it's okay, but it's definitely different than what I'm used to from them. So I've been just having to go through Right Wing Watch quite a bit. Um, but this one is so interesting. Have you ever heard of Dave Rubin?
Yes. I
I,
sure have.
I don't really know what his deal is exactly. Like I'm trying to so it, I'll show you a clip here. Okay. So, if anybody doesn't know, so Dave Rubin used to work on the Rubin Report, right? Um, or I mean, I'm sorry, he does the Rubin Report, right? He used to work on TYT, you know.
That's right.
Yeah, which is so crazy because they're like, I mean, they're probably when it's on the spectrum of like right to left, TYT is about as left as you can go. I mean, they're I don't really see much farther left than that, but um, oh, we got the comment. Um, hello. Yes, I do read your comments. We are in the the fun portion of the show now. uh, but shit, where was I going with that? Anyway, Dave Rubin. So, he's gay, right? And he's married. And but now he's made the switch from the left to the right wing, and it's just he's just clobbering himself, you know, because he's you're not allowed to be gay. That's like the rule, one of the rules, for the right wing, right?
You're allowed one good token.
Yeah.
You see, in the Republican Party, you have to have one good token gay, one
Oh,
good
that's
token trans, like Blair White.
hmm
You know what I mean? But you can only have that one,
you
and
just
you
get the
all have
one,
to be like that person.
and then be against any others like
Yeah,
team, coming up. Wow.
like they're the gatekeepers.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's too funny. So here's let's check out this is a stream. So this is Lauren Witzke. She's got this new show called Cross Talk, even though it looks like I don't, they always put the cross in the wrong spot. I don't know why like what it is with them. There was like one that said like it was like clit. It looks like it was like the CLI Christian Living Institute, whatever. And then it had a cross at the end. It looked like it's like clit. I'm like, oh my good God, guys.
Someone didn't consult their marketing team, did they?
No. I saw like, oh, we need a giant cross up there. Yeah. It's like, oh my God. So this is what they're talking about. So just recently, Dave Rubin has been talking about having a baby. Either they're having him and his husband, I think, are having two babies. I'm not totally sure. It's like either one baby or two baby. I'm not really sure, but I think it might be two because I think they're both of their sperm. Like one is one of their sperms, and the other one is the other of their sperm. And that way they are genetically connected to the children, right?
Mhm.
And the right wing is not happy about that. And so this is what they have to say.
She won't be because I know she is horrible.
Oh man, yeah, if
Whiskey.
you've heard of her, yeah.
Yeah, she was destroying Blair White on some debate, and I was just like, "Oh my god, this woman's." I feel sorry for Blair White. That's how terrible you are.
Wow. And yeah, you got to be pretty bad. So, holy shit. Yeah. That's too funny. We'll hear what she has to say real quick.
Litmus test this past week. Okay, if you want to see if your favorite conservative icon is one of us, is really America First, is really a Christian, just see what they said about that pedophile couple that are trafficking kids. What's her name again?
Are you talking about Dave Rubin?
Oh, Dave Rubin. That's it. Yeah, Dave Rubin. Yeah.
How does it go from pedophile? Like, why? Where is that?
Oh my god, it's the typical homophobic trope, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so, right?
Well, I didn't expect them to go straight out the bat with that one, though. Wow.
Right? Yeah, that's just like straight up, like right out the gate. They're like, "Yep, they're rape people. You know, they're child rapists too." By the way, like
child trafficking pedophiles. Wow, straight away, he's one of yours,
right? Yeah, he's on your team, guys. Like, what? Jesus, unbelievable. But yeah, see, baby one, baby two. So yeah, so they each have a baby that they are, genetically.
And good for them. Congratulations to them.
I mean, I say, yeah, I mean, and good for them for that, in that regard. Fuck Dave Rubin for like every other reason, but like that's not one of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. Not fuck him for being a human, fuck him for being a terrible one.
There you go. Exactly.
Soon, baby one. Where did they steal this kid from? That's two men. Well, two men are gay.
Yeah,
they can't have kids.
It's got to pop out first, and then that's when they snatch them.
Oh, that's when they steal.
Yeah, that's when they steal.
This is the conservative comedy, man. You gotta love it.
So edgy.
It's so edgy. Yeah, they are, making fun of the fact that they can't have kids like naturally or whatever, so they have to steal them. So it's funny. It's a joke. It's funny.
Was it? Is that what it was supposed to be?
I think so. I can never tell honestly, unless it's like Steven Crowder who like makes sure to say his voices in like falsetto voice. I really don't know what is a joke and what isn't to these people a lot of times. It's sad. It's sad. It is.
But that's like plotting a crime right there. So somebody should probably do something about that.
Sheriff Opile? Should we call Sheriff Opile? Someone needs to
We should call somebody because I have a kidnapping in process,
Seriously, look, what is he crying for? Is he crying because he got away with it almost? Look at this. These two.
Do people cry because they get away with things? Like, oh man, I got away with it, man. I got the money, and it's just, I feel bad. I have like winner's guilt or whatever. I don't know what the fuck. Like, what are you talking about?
Yikes.
Jesus.
Just yikes.
Oh God, these people are hilarious.
Two men who cannot reproduce. The only thing they can reproduce and create is more debauchery and AIDS. Then they can spread AIDS.
I wish they would have just left it with the debauchery because that would have been so much fun to just make fun of there, But of course, got to go to the AIDS. That's
what are they saying though? Like the minute you become gay, you can't reproduce. Like what, your sperm doesn't work anymore.
Right. As if
men and women can reproduce. Like that's just
right. I know. As if that like there's every single like straight person like is capable of reproducing. Every single one of them. And if they're not, then they're not whole people or something.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy, man.
The standards that these people live to.
Yeah, seriously. And like, hey, Kevin Francis, he's the host of the panel stream that we do every Wednesday night at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time on the Unapologetics panel stream.
Is that the man with the hats?
Yes, that's the man with the hats. Yeah, he's got the octopus. Yeah. Yes, skeptic Brent Lee. That's me. That's who I am. I don't know. I actually kind of was mad at myself for putting that in my name afterwards because I'm like, I feel like I shouldn't. like I am the most skeptical. No, I do my best to be skeptical. You know what I mean? But yeah, I probably should have left that out of my name to be honest. But it wasn't taken, so you know what? Whatever. It was.
That's the only reason I had to put TV at the end of mine because Brent Lee was taken by other places.
Sorry about that.
Actually, it's not even you.
What?
There's two other Brent Lees
Wow.
that are on the internet that are like big and famous. There's a Canadian composer. If you type in Brent Lee, like there's a Wikipedia for this guy. He's not even us. He needs a
Wow.
Canadian composer, and then there's a different one who's like a country star.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
A country singer.
We need to get both of them on this show.
Right.
All
Oh,
four Brent Lees.
exactly. All the Brent Lee. And it's funny because mine, I do an atheist show, so like I got to be kind of careful, how much information I give out. And Brent, I was just going for like the Madonna Moses type of thing where it's just one name, you know what I mean? And be like Brentley, like
Yeah.
with like Bentley with an R in there, right? And so that's but so many places require you put in a last name, so it ended up being Brent Lee, and I'm like, ha, Brentley, see,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny how those types of things work like that. But let's see what else we got going down here. Yeah, these are fun. I just like a lot of times I'll just run through. Yeah, I'll just share actually just so you guys can see what I'm doing while I'm doing it, since we're in the fun portion here. I like to just look through Right Wing Watch on their Twitter, and I mean they got some really crazy shit. On the Twitter. A lot of times it's like you almost got to be careful though, because if you go to their YouTube, you notice half of it isn't there, but they have a ton of stuff that you can't do, and say they have a ton of rules and stuff that I guess Twitter doesn't have to follow or something.
The free speech platform.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, Twitter really is, I guess, because I mean, look how long it took for them to kick Trump off.
Yeah.
So it was like only after he attacked democracy, they're like, okay, you know what? Maybe we should have him like not incite shit like that, Maybe that would work. Maybe that'd be a good thing. So this is Leah Dunnis. Have you heard of this lady?
No.
She's fun. And she's running for I believe so. So Leah Dundas claims she was at the Capitol on January 6th only because she was walking someone back to their car and they needed to sit down. How does she explain the footage she posted that day of her outside the Capitol screaming traitors? I love it.
She was only there doing carpool. Is that what she was saying?
Basically, yeah, she's a carpool. Okay. All right. Let's see. Maximize that. Here we go.
Was I at the Capitol? Heck yeah, I was on a stage a mile away the entire day. At the end of it, I watched a woman who had a double knee replacement back to her car. She got tired, sat on a planter. It happened to be in front of the Capitol, and a friend or a cell.
Holy shit, how much cocaine is she on, man? What the fuck, dude? Wow. She just is talking like she just did like 7 rails of meth and then got up on stage.
Adrenochrome.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, that's so funny. Oh man, because when when you're talking about adrenochrome, I thought that was fake, and I thought it was just from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yeah.
And he like drinks it at the one point, and it's like kind of this like creepy little nod throughout the movie where you hear the guy on the phone talking about how you have to chop people's heads off and stick needles in them to get the adrenochrome out or whatever, and then now I hear all these conspiracy theorist people are talking about it, and I'm like, is it real or is it not real? I'm like so confused by this, and I'm be honest, I have not like figured it out yet.
No, it is real, but it's not what they say it is.
Okay. So like a lot of things,
it's not the most addictive drug on the surface of the planet. None of that type of stuff. It's oxidized adrenaline.
Oh, okay.
So if you leave adrenaline out in the elements and let oxygen hit it, that's what it is, essentially. And it's really hard to get. So labs synthesize it instead.
Oh, okay.
Basically,
that makes sense.
but it's nothing. It's nothing like what these people have said it is.
Okay. Yeah, we're in the distracted part of the show. That's where we get distracted and we just have fun and just goof off and look at videos. But okay, so that actually makes good sense. Because I mean, which is all like epinephrine, is basically adrenaline, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
very similar.
basically what's good. If you want to hit a adrenochrome, get an EpiPen. God.
Get all fucked up, man. Let's see what she's got to say.
Fan took a selfie, and there I am at the door of the Capitol, according to the WAPO. This is not going away anytime soon. This is 1776 all over again. We are fighting for our freedom. Traitor! Traitor! Traitors! Traitors! Traitors!
Wow.
Traitor! 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 Traitor!
Holy shit.
She does look like somebody's mum supposed to be picking their children up and then just got caught up in the whole thing. Everyone keeps saying 1776. Let me shout it. 1776, traitors!
Yeah. Have you
Wow.
seen my kid? Traitor. He's got a yellow hat on. Traitor. Traitor. That's great.
That really did look like a skit from some comedy show.
Right? It
Yeah.
did. It
Hey, is
did.
this your mom?
It's like when I was a younger, we were like, I don't know, I was like 11, 12, 13 in that age bracket when I started to get into, because Christian punk became like sort of a thing, like punk rock music. And, you always would have the moms like, with the minivan dropping off like the 10 kids or whatever, so the 10 little punker kids to go to the MXPX show. That's what it's reminding me, because those places get kind of crazy afterwards, and the moms in the minivans trying to look for their kids. It's just a very similar aesthetic there. Heidi St. John. I don't even know if I've heard of this one. Have you ever heard of Heidi St. John?
No, I don't think so.
I don't, and sometimes I get scared.
We don't know what they're gonna say.
Yeah, exactly. Which it kind of makes it fun, But it also could just get us permanently banned on YouTube. So I don't know.
Just gonna click it and they're gonna be like, hang on the.
All right, so sorry if I'll have to stop it if she
In
says
terms
anything
of my run
crazy.
for Congress, listen, I've heard the Lord give me instruction like it's clear as day, probably 5 times in my life, like almost an audible voice. And when the Lord asking me to do this was like that. I mean, I sweated bullets over it for weeks before I even brought it up to my husband, because I knew he was going to be like, "Are you crazy?" Which is exactly what happened. But we prayed about it together as a couple and with our children, and eventually decided in February of last year to jump into the race. This is by far and away the most challenging thing that I've ever undertaken. The spiritual climate in the political realms, it literally is stepping across the threshold, I believe, of the gates of hell in many ways, because the prince of the power.
So this could be interesting. So tell me what do you feel about this? Is like, I know you're in England, so religion's a bit different. Religion and government is like, you actually do have a state religion, but it's almost like you're less religious than most states, like most governments are.
Yeah, we're quite secular, really. But my feelings about this is shut up. No, seriously. Like I was saying before, we were talking about I'm Christian, but the last thing I want to do is push my religion on people. Right. What she's doing is so manipulative to any Christians and believers.
Right.
She's manipulating people by saying like, "Oh, I prayed about this and God whispered in my ear and told me I should do it." So like the Christians will be thinking, "Yeah, okay, yeah, God must have told her to do it." And I hate this kind of thing. I hate this like manipulation of people, like appealing to these.
And that's why I think a lot of us have that's why we have, in America, we have the Johnson Amendment, which is, you can't actively promote a political candidate. You can talk about like you can talk about plenty. You can talk about all of the issues that a particular political candidate would talk about or believes in, right? And you can take their positions on it. But you can't just say, we want to vote for this person. Vote for this person. Otherwise, you go to hell.
Yeah.
Like, because that's, or I'm going to
Yeah.
send the, demons will torment you or whatever, because that you're right. It's like, it's manipulation, like at its worst,
Absolutely. I can understand, like, appeal obviously to your Christian brethren or whatever by showing that you're a good Christian, but don't like act like God's installed you into this position of power,
Right. Yeah.
and this is a fight against evil. That shit, that makes me sad. It really upsets me when I see this stuff all the time.
And y'all have a bit more. I mean, you've definitely gotten more conservative, right, over the years, as far as
What, in England?
The government, like Boris Johnson.
Yeah. Sadly,
Yeah. He seems like an odd fellow.
that's putting it lightly.
Yeah. He's like,
Someone's asking, do we ever listen to what Nick Fuentes says? I hear Nick Fuentes, but I never listen.
Right? Nah, yeah. I mean, he says a lot of stupid shit that's fun to laugh at. If that's what if you're getting out going down there. Yeah, I think he's funny. He's so stupid that he's funny sometimes. So yes, I will say that I will listen to things that he says sometimes, but only to laugh, to belly laugh while I roll on the floor.
He doesn't speak sense. Let's say that.
There you go. Yes, doesn't speak sense. Oh, I like that. I'm gonna start saying it that way. Doesn't speak sense. I like that. That's very good. So good. So you kind of feel like there should be definitely a separation.
100%.
Okay.
100%. But how are we supposed to function as a society if there's just one group that makes all the rules?
Right.
If it's whatever that is in whatever country we're talking about, like if there's just one group of people making the rules for the rest of society, then it's not a free and open society. And that comes to our religion or our race or our sexuality or our gender or whatever.
Right.
It should not be one group gets to make the rules for the whole society, especially when the whole society is made up of a bunch of different things.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. Cause Christians a lot of times can't even get along with one another, because the Catholics will get mad at the Protestants, will get mad at the Baptists, will get mad at and you got all of them and, fighting with one another. And then you're going to say like, we need to listen to like, have religion be what guides the country. It's like, we can't even agree on which one's the right, right version of which one.
Like you said, you got Protestants and Catholics and Eastern Orthodox. Like those are the three main Christian sectors. And then within Protestantism, how many different denominations have you got? Like hundreds.
Yeah, well, I know we got 200 in the U.S. alone. Yeah. And then like 14.
And those are all people that don't agree on specific little readings of the Bible. You think they're going to be able to agree on a law?
Right.
How to get everyone, how to have society function properly, really.
Yeah.
So I tend to keep that away from society. My beliefs aren't how society needs to run for everybody.
Right. You need something sort of outside of all of our beliefs that we can look to as more of, I would say, a methodology for morality rather than, hey, here's a list of rules that come from the book that I, my family's read for the past hundreds of years or whatever, But yeah, I totally agree with you there. Well, yeah, we're definitely going to have you back on for a a conversation about just Christianity and stuff. And I like having conversations from different perspectives, just because I think it does help us just kind of see where everybody's at, and also show the world that everybody's not extremists. You know what I mean? Because like shit, a lot of times if you watch Fox News or MSNBC. You'd think that every person on the left is like, wearing, a Antifa type person or something. And if you watch, the MSNBC, every person on the right, some crazy, like that lady that, we just were showing, it was like the extremists of both the left and right. Even though I always say, look, the left, the most extreme you're going to get on the left is people that, like, when they have a conference, they ask you to snap instead of clap because it might hurt, like trigger somebody's like PTSD, and it's like, you know what I mean? That's not too bad. I actually don't mind that. Compared to the actual white supremacist militias, I think we're in good company over on the left here.
Do you like snapping or lynching? Which one?
Like, right? Oh shit! That's a comment. Do you think? I don't know. I don't think it's funny, man. Holy shit! No, I don't think it's. I mean, I think that's terrifying. He's a joke, and he definitely. But no, that's anytime that people try to, like wish violence on anybody. I try to keep away from that, even in a joking manner.
Agreed.
I don't find it funny or fun or at all, But yeah, that dude is dangerous. And Nick Fuentes, dude, I almost want to stop covering him because he's just,
The thing is like we laugh at him, not with him. That's how I see it. It's like, sometimes some of these people make me laugh because of how ridiculous their character is, not because of what they're saying.
Right.
When you take what they say and you put it down on a piece of paper, it is actually dangerous.
Right. Yeah.
Simple.
And it's just and it's not like it's stuff that hasn't happened before. Like there's just, we have had people like, and I mean, I had like Timothy McVeigh back in the day.
Oh yeah.
They were just passing around fucking flyers.
Yeah.
They didn't have like the internet and all that, they just hung out at gun shows. And now we found like a way for all those people to find each other.
Yeah.
Freaky. You know what I mean? Like, just saying.
Exactly.
But all right, well, thank you so much, man, for coming out. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man.
We'll definitely try to get you back out again, and we'll do it in a way that so that we're not, because we are like 12 hours off or something like that. It's a long.
At the minute it's 6 hours.
6 hours, okay.
6 hours where we are at the minute because of you guys have just moved your clocks forward or back.
Yes,
you just moved yours forward.
Sprung forward, yeah.
And we've stayed where we are at the minute, but we're moving ours forward like next week, I think. So then we'll be like 7 or 8 hours ahead of you guys. However the hell that works,
You do daylight savings too?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I thought we were the only stupid country that does that shit.
No, we all do it. The whole world does it practically.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, we have a couple states that were like, "Nah, fuck you, we're not doing it anymore." I can't remember which one. I think it's like Kentucky or some shit. It's like, "Now, we quit that." But
yeah, I'd be happy to come on the panel sometime. Like I'll stay up one night because that'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Right, that would be awesome, man. Yeah, if you could, we got it's very similar to like what we were just doing the last 10-15 minutes here.
Yeah.
You just get a lot more people involved, so it's a lot of fun, and yeah, we'd love to have you for sure. And we can for that week we can make some special conspiracy type videos that we find for you.
Yeah, sweet. Perfect.
Specialize it, So if anybody's going to look for you, where can they find you?
All right, on YouTube it's Brent Lee TV, so youtube.com/Brent Lee TV. And then I'm on Twitter at Brent Lee TV. Just find me everywhere, basically like that. Yeah.
Perfect. Wow. All right. Cool.
Simple and easy to find.
Right. And I will put that. Well, you already got it up, really. You can just search Brent Lee TV. I was going to put it up there for you.
Not Brent Lee Skeptic. Not him.
Right.
I'm not that guy.
I know. That guy's weird. You don't want to listen to him anyway. But the other one. But well, thanks again so much for coming on, man. This was a lot of fun, and we'll definitely get you back out. And
yeah, awesome, dude. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for watching, and we will see y'all next time.